Hello everyone, PauloP13 here, and welcome to today's video. Today's video, I am talking a bit about Ultimus 7, a bit about the defenders, and a bit about the possibility of people having to approach the game in a completely different way from the beginning to the end. I'll get more into this as the video goes along, and sorry, I'm just realizing my shirt apparently blends in with the background, and it is going to be part of the background, so I'm a floating head today. So enjoy that. I could get changed, but oh well. Anyways, I'm a floating head for today's video. Yes, so Defenders, Ultimus 7, change of meta. Not really meta, but what do I mean? Okay, so as you guys know, Ultimus 7 is now in the game. It is a lot harder than it used to be. But now let's actually talk about back when it was Ultimus 7 First Strike. When it was First Strike, so a lot easier than it is now. Okay, I need to do some more. One comment that came out a lot was, no matter how strong your defenders are, they just don't carry the weight as much weight as other teams. And every other team that was like a raid team did better than the defenders. The defenders struggled a lot in Ultimus 7 at First Strike. And now that it's come back regularly and it's even harder, I only have heard one person talk about the defenders having any success at all. And I've heard a lot of people saying, hey, the defenders really don't do well in Ultimus 7 at all. Then the one person that did well had like a 380,000 power defenders. So, and they got their version of doing well was like 3 nodes maybe. So obviously defenders are struggling a lot on this. Why does this matter? Well, for a long time, a lot of people believed in this game that if you just built your defenders, that's all you needed, because you had your arena team, you had a good blitz team, and you had a raid team that'll take you to the highest form of raid. And this led to a lot of new players getting a good jump on the game, which was good for them, but there was also a major issue that came from this. Recruiting turned into an absolute mess. A lot of new players believed to have more endgame value than they really provided, especially once Alliance War came to the game, simply because they had one team built. It was not uncommon to see players with 300,000 collection power asking to be in like a top 100 alliance, top 5% alliance, top 1% alliance. Like everyone was asking for 100% on Ultimus 6, 100% on Greek 4 raids, 60% on Greek 4 raids. It didn't matter. They had one team and they believed that meant that they deserved everything. And it made it really hard because as an alliance, you had to take people, and if everyone believes that they can handle so much more than they can, everyone's going to be asking for more and more. Eventually the alliances got desperate because you don't want to be empty and you don't want to be man short, and you would start taking people that really didn't belong in your alliance, and it led to a lot of alliances kind of falling apart, a lot of alliances running into issues or having to accept lower people, and it kind of created this massive gap between the top alliances and those that were just a step or two behind, that kind of fell down to like a lot behind because just the recruiting turned into an absolute mess in this game. But now, people that are wanting to run Ultimus 7, top alliances aren't going to take anyone with defenders. If they only have defenders, they will not take it because you can't contribute to Ultimus 7 with just defenders. And this is going to cause a massive shift. Because yes, you can do Ultimus 6 with defenders, but you can't do Ultimus 7 unless you have like 400,000 power defenders, which is not a reasonable thing to ask. So people are going to have to diversify. So if you're trying to find the quickest way to get to the top, defenders aren't the answer anymore. So does this mean that going forward, defenders aren't going to be around as much? I personally hope so. I really think it's great that it might lead to a larger diversification of the people's choice, like what they want to play with. Maybe this will lead to more people running some unique teams. Maybe you're going to see some teams that you hadn't thought of. When people can't just do the same thing and everyone can't copy each other, it really leads to some interesting choices. Like BKT came out of a lot of experimentation. I remember when I made the first video on that, like, it was a team I didn't really think was going to work, but for arena, but it ended up working very well. But that was because I didn't have anything that could compete otherwise, and I had to try and get creative. And this is how a lot of the best teams in the game were found. I know some of them were just kind of cookie cutter, like, here's your Brotherhood. This is the best team now. But it really, I think it's a great thing for the game. If I'm not saying the defenders die out and you never see them again, you'll still see them in Blitz. You'll still see them in Arena. And I'm sure a lot of people are going to still try to ride only their defenders all the way to the top, but it won't get you to Ultimus 7. If you really want to succeed, you're going to need to build up your other teams. Let alone how bad it is for alliances with an alliance war if all you can provide them is one team, and that's defenders. But hopefully, going forward, this leads to a major diversification of the rosters, of newer players, middle-range players, allowing for players that are a little further along to actually have more competitive wars, have more interesting content, because it's not all defenders versus defenders, or every alliance, most of their team is defenders, or the raids are just defenders. You're recruiting, all you're going to see is defenders. Hopefully, this Ultimus 7, even though there are issues, and I talked a lot about the issues, hopefully this leads to a greater diversification and kind of gets a bit more joy back into the game, and kind of gives a little bit of a shot like, hey, look, we're not just defenders anymore. Look, you can see new people raiding with Guardians. That's a weird choice to say. Shield minions, I don't know. Kree, Supernatural, doesn't really matter. Just maybe some are going to go back to the Avengers meta. Throw some Coulson on like a weird Avengers team with Shield Medic. You never know. Maybe they get them from the milestones. Anyways, what I'm saying is I think going forward, defenders are going to be a lot less frequent, and the reason is going to be Ultimus 7. If you are a new player watching this and you've invested a lot into defenders, do yourself a favor, do me a favor, build up the rest of your roster. Not meaning every single character needs to be your strongest, but find other avenues, and to get to the farthest points, you're going to need other characters other than defenders. Just remember, 5 characters can't win you an entire war. So anyways, not too long of a video, not too much to say, just a little bit of a thought. And anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know what you think about this down in the comments, or you can join my Discord. There's a link to that in the video description. A few other links there as well if you're interested. They help support the channel. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this and you guys are having a good day. And as always, I'm here to help.